Alrighty. Well, hello. I am Uncle Slam, and this is ElecHead.
Hold
Uh,
up. We-
Sorry, what was that?
Okay, we are back. Welcome in, everybody. We're here with Uncle Slam, ready for some ElecHead. Take it away, Uncle Slam.
Alright, perfect. Sorry, jumped the gun a little bit there. Hello, everybody. I am Uncle Slam, and this is ElecHead, as just stated. This is a 2D puzzle platformer on Nintendo Switch and PC, possibly other platforms, but I'm not 100% sure which. I am just going to go ahead and get into it. So there's no real good cue for when time starts, so I will just give a go whenever the screen loads in, and that'll be the start of the run. And go. Alright, so in ElecHead you play as this little guy named Elec. He is a robot who is constantly pouring out electricity. And that's kind of the main shtick of this game. So like anything that's yellow that he's touching, that is powered on. So like these platforms right here only exist when they're given power. We'll also see stuff like checkpoints, cannons, all sorts of things later that Elec will be able to power on with his little ability here. So that's one of the checkpoints. We will want to keep an eye out for those. And some of you might be wondering, okay, so what is the alternate ends category all about? Because that's the category I'm running. So that thing I collected right there is a golden key card. In order to unlock the alternate end of this game, we need to collect all 20 of those. And a lot of the time they'll be in out-of-the-way spaces. So if it looks like I'm going off the beaten path in order to go somewhere, that's probably why. And it's important to note that as soon as Elec touches one, he doesn't collect it immediately. Instead, what happens is it kind of goes toward him like a 1-up mushroom in Super Mario 64 or a strawberry in Celeste, where it actually needs to reach Elec before you're able to collect it. So throughout a lot of the game, I will be trying to avoid die-in or hidden checkpoints after I hit a golden keycard, because if you do that, then the golden keycard goes all the way back to where you collected it, and then you need to backtrack all the way back in order to have a chance at collecting it in the first place. And as you might guess, that loses a little bit of time. So you'll also see moving platforms like this. Like sometimes they'll move only when they're powered on, sometimes they'll move and then go back whenever they are powered off. It all depends on what the room requires. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a checkpoint abuse. So I'm going to activate that checkpoint there, come down here and collect 2 golden key cards. So the first one is in this room, and then once we collected that, we're going to move to the room on the left. And as soon as I collected this key card, I'm going to intentionally kill Elec there and go back to the checkpoint. And that just saves a lot of time from having to walk all the way back, like the game intends you to do. But why do that when we can just do this? Alright, so coming up we're going to be seeing Warp Zone number 2. We don't talk about Warp Zone number 1 in this category because we never see it. So we will be seeing 3 different Warp Zones in this category that we will want to activate. Besides that, we do want to avoid activating 3 others because it'll save time menuing later. But more on that when we get there. Okay, so coming up, I'm going to set up a checkpoint there, and this is one of the harder rooms in the game, because the interface that covers the screen after you collect this checkpoint makes it a little hard to judge where Elec is. Luckily, we actually got through no problem. And I'm going to set up another checkpoint abuse right here. So I'm going to turn around, and I'm on my way to get the ability to throw Elec's head. That is another core mechanic of this game that is very important to collect in puzzles. And as soon as I reset back to the checkpoint, I'm going to go for a skip that was actually, I believe, discovered by Hepanwana, the runner of the last 2 games. So I'm going to do that here, and I got it first try, even better than my GDQ run. Alright, so basically now we have the ability to throw Elec's head. Now, whenever that happens, his head is constantly pouring out the electricity and not his body. So we can use that to avoid traps like the lasers I just passed earlier. And we can also use it to fit Elec's body through 1 tall gaps, which normally he would not be able to fit through. I'm also going to go for a skip here, where if you throw Elec's head and keep it in the air as you go over those lasers, the lasers never are powered on while Elec is walking on them. And that saves basically just having to throw Elec's head into the upper left corner of the room, going all the way to collect it before actually being able to collect the key to get us to the later parts of the game. And that saves about, I want to say, like 8 seconds, so pretty beefy time save there. And after I get past this room, we're going to be seeing, well, first we'll be seeing a city that's on the moon. Oh yeah, this game wholly takes place on the moon, by the way, in case any of you care about that. So this next room has warp zone number 3, but we don't want to activate it, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep Elec's head suspended in the air to make sure we don't power it on by mistake. In this next room, I'm going to go for a cheeky pair of head throws that'll kind of weave Elec's head through that gap. And this room right here with all the moving platforms, this is one of the harder rooms to learn early on when you're learning this speedrun. But once you do get it down, it's really, really satisfying to pull off. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect, that should be enough. And I'll land on this platform and go for another skip. So I'm going to try to align Elec with this wall here. And then throw his head across that gap. That's not how you're meant to solve that room. You're actually meant to go through clockwise, but by doing that, you get to save about 5 to 6 seconds. And one thing I'm going to do here, so all these checkpoints below Elec, I'm going to try not to activate, because after I collect this key, if you hit any checkpoints, those will actually reset the puzzle in the room you're in. And when that happens, the key goes back to where I collected it, and the door ahead is locked, and I have to go back and get the key. So, again, just little things to mind there. And in this room, this puzzle is a good example of the timer on Elec's head. So if you look at Elec's body here, there's a timer that starts from 10 and counts down. If that number ever hits 0, then Elec's body runs out of power, and he dies, basically, and gets sent all the way back to the last checkpoint. There is no use for that in the speedrun, really, so we just want to avoid letting that happen as much as we can. And then, coming up here, we have another elevator. And another checkpoint abuse. So after I collect this golden key card, just going to do that as is. And then right here I'm going to go for a corner boost. Every one of those you do saves anywhere from 2 to 5 frames, at least as far as I've measured it. So you're going to see me doing those all over the place. Murph, whoa, hello. That was weird. Murph, how are you doing over there? How are you liking this run so far?
I am good. This run is so much fun. Such impressive tech all the way through. I've been wanting to play this ever since I first saw someone speedrunning it. And yeah, it's such an awesome game.
Yeah,
really creative.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. Like, if you guys like 2D puzzle platformers at all, this game's only like $10 on Steam, so it's, you know, already nice and cheap. But if you get it on sale, then it'd be even better. And I promise you, this game is well worth it. Like, you can tell just how much love went into this game. It's a massive passion project. Alright, so coming up here, I'm gonna have something called the throws room. So there are going to be 5 times I need to throw Elec's head in one of the upcoming rooms here, and every time I do without losing any momentum is like a frame-perfect throw. So we've got 1, we've got 2, we've got 3, 4, 5 in a row. That is insanely hard to actually do in a run, so I'm really glad I got to show that off here.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. And then right here, we're going to have a little section where we throw Elec's head onto that platform there. Sometimes, for whatever reason, it won't power it on until like a second later. And I have no idea why that happens, but sometimes it does, and we just have to deal with it. Alright, so right there, that is Warp Zone 4. Again, we don't want to activate that for menuing purposes later. And in this section, we are actually introduced to cannons. Every single time they're powered on, they will periodically start shooting out balls of electricity, which, if they touch Elec, they will kill him, and we definitely want to avoid that. Alright, so in this room, I'm going to start doing something called head boosting. I literally just came up with that term as we speak. Where basically, the physics of this game work kind of weird when they're trying to push Elec's head out of a ceiling like that. So if you do the right set of movement, you can actually get a minor boost to Elec and save a couple frames here and there. So like if the ceiling is low enough, I'm able to do that. So other than that, this section is actually pretty decently chill, so Murph, if you have any incentives you want to plug, now would be a great time for that.
Absolutely. As I mentioned earlier, coming up, not in the next run, but the one after that, Selkuth Mines, the Red Lantern run, there is a bid war for Pick the Dogs. You can choose which of the different dogs you want to see in the run. Obviously, they're all fantastic doggos, but of Finn, Gale, Bodega Slayer, Noodle, and Barkley, just 2 will be chosen and used in the run. So make sure you get your donations in early to make sure that you get your chosen doggo picked during that run.
Not that there's such a thing as a bad doggo. All doggos are good doggos.
Of course not. All dogs are good doggos, but some dogs are more good than other dogs.
Agreed. So one thing I'm gonna do in this room is I'm gonna try to follow behind this set of electric balls as closely as possible. And what you're meant to do for this puzzle is in this room, you're meant to activate the lasers above Elec's head in order to destroy the set of electric balls behind him. But if you time it just perfectly enough, you can barely slip by without getting hit, and that saves about 1.5 seconds. Now, if you do fail that trick, it loses upwards of 15 seconds at least. So, really glad I did get to show that off first try. That's one of the easier skips to do, but it's still very possible to mess it up. So coming up here, we're actually going to see and activate Warp Zone number 5. So this is the first one we've activated since Warp Zone number 2. And I'm going to do a checkpoint abuse because we do need to backtrack a little bit to this slot machine that's below the elevator. So 1, 2, 3. Let's hope we get lucky. Booyah. So as soon as I collect that golden key card, I'm going to warp back to Warp Zone number 5. And coming up here, we have a 30-second minigame where I'm supposed to collect 30 different key cards in the span of that 30 seconds. All the while, we will be accompanied by this awesome music that sounds like it comes straight out of VVVVVV. Another fantastic indie game, if I do say so myself.
And with fantastic music, just like this one.
100%. And there's actually an achievement in this game if you can get 35 different key cards before the time limit expires. It's not that hard to do, but you don't need to do it in the speedrun. So I'll just get a 32, a nice even number while we wait for this to open up. So I'm going to go back to Warp Zone number 5 now, because again, it's much faster than just walking the whole way. And this whole section here deals a lot with moving platforms. So again, some of them will only move when they're powered on, some of them will actually move back to where they were when they're powered off. All depends on what the puzzle requires. So I'm going to do some cheeky movement here with jumps that barely get me high enough to advance. And then right here, I'm going to barely teeter Elec's head off of the corner of that platform, collect the key, and then just move on. And in this room, I'm going to go for a skip where I do a very precise throw. I missed it there, but I'm just going to reset. Alright, a precise throw. I said a precise throw. Oh my gosh, I haven't missed this many times in a row in quite a while. And then a precise jump. There we go, we got it. So normally that would save about 5 to 6 seconds from having to go clockwise around the platform on the right. Shoutouts to a runner by the name of Igurimi for discovering that. He is currently the world record holder, and he is an absolute god at this game. Alrighty. So yeah, several times you'll see me throw Elec's head up towards the ceiling to power up moving platform on, and in a similar fashion to that, we'll be solving puzzles based on how far we can actually get them to move and how... Ooh, that's actually something I need to reset. Yeah, whole key here is to get the moving platforms to move as much as possible before Elec's head no longer is able to touch them. So in this case, I wanted to hit his head as close to the top of the platform as I possibly could. In some cases, I just want to hit it as close to the right of a platform as I can. And there's a trick coming up in this room, or the next set of rooms, technically, where I want to throw, after I collect this golden key card, I want to throw Elec's head into the next room. And then I want to follow it down a corridor without actually collecting it yet, because I need to be short enough to go underneath these balls of electricity. And then if I'm quick enough, which I was, I'm able to skip the very next cycle of electric balls. And if you do die there, you do get sent back a fair amount. I think you lose about like 10 to 12 seconds if you do get hit by the electric balls there, but it's a pretty snazzy trick to pull off if you understand why the mechanics of the game make that so difficult. And then here again, you know, like the further right on that platform we can get the head, the better, because then we can lower it a little bit faster, and Elec's movement speed is actually faster than most of these moving platforms. So the more we can move him and the less we can move the platforms, the better. And then here I'm actually trying to, when I'm jumping up to the next platforms, I'm trying to kind of graze the side of it to keep them powered on as long as I possibly can. It's a minor time save that doesn't save like a ton of time, but like every little bit helps. Then hitting the checkpoint there resets the elevator so we can actually go back down. And then there's a skip. I'm gonna go for, well, not really a skip, but just like a faster way to do the intended method of the puzzle. Coming up where I'm actually going to throw ElecHead from the left onto a platform. When you're meant to throw it from the right side to give you enough time to actually like get the key and move on. But if you throw it from the left, you don't have to waste any time turning around. So this is the platform right here, and if I time it right, I should just barely get this key and collect ElecHead before the timer hits 0. Yeah, so you can see right there it hit 1, so cut it a little bit close there, but that did save a couple frames from not having to turn around. And this next room has warp zone number 6. Again, we do not need it. However, 2 rooms later, we're actually going to activate warp zone number question mark. And yes, I did say number question mark because that's how numbers work.
Of course.
Alright, so coming up here, I'm going to collect this golden key card. Warp back, but before Elec can collect it, I'm going to throw his head up and just try to make it to the final golden key card and warp back right before the timer hits 0. So it's at 2, 1. Gonna warp back and collect the 19th and then the 20th of the golden key cards. And when you hit this room, that's when it confirms, hey, you collected all 20 of the golden key cards, so you can actually hit the alternate end. And from here, it's basically just a straight shot to the ending of the game. So I'm going to use this time to thank all of you for watching. This game is, like I said, a real passion project by the creator, Nama Takahashi. And if you do like this genre or this game like appeals to it all, I highly recommend it on Steam or Switch, whatever. It's really cheap already. And if the speedrun interests you at all, if you go to speedrun.com/ElecHead, that will link you to the Discord. There's a link somewhere on the side there. And from there, you can get in contact with several runners, like all of whom are like really willing to help you learn this game if it interests you. And yeah, it's just a nice, chill place to hang out. So time will actually be in a couple seconds. I will count it down. So in 3, 2, 1, time. And as we...
Congratulations.
Thank you. So, as we see the ending of this game here, I didn't really point this out, so I did run this game for HDQ earlier this year, and I completely glazed past the fact that, in the end, we blow up the Earth. That's just kind of something that happens in this game. I don't know why. I don't know why. The lore in this game is really loose, but it's the alternate end. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
The only other option we have is blowing up the moon, so it's kind of a lose-lose no matter how you look at it, but it is what it is.
I mean, it's not like there's anything important on the Earth or anything, so...
yeah, sure.
Perfectly reasonable.
Yeah. Where are we right now, Murph? We're on, like, Jupiter or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're totally safe, so... So one thing I do want to point out is that, this game is timed on the leaderboards with in-game time, so 16:22 is actually really good. That's like less than half a minute off of my PB. So, yeah, I'm pretty proud of that performance, all things considered. So,
Excellent.
yeah, so again, if this game interests you at all, we'd love to have you in the community. If not, I'm just glad you enjoyed the run. Assuming you did enjoy the run. I'm glad you watched the run, if nothing else, so. All right,
I'm sure everyone did enjoy that. It was absolutely fantastic, showing off lots of fantastic tech.
Certainly, and if you do want to see,
brilliantly.
Yeah, and if you do want to see more fantastic runs, the next run is going to be the Witness Randomizer, which is one of my personal favorite games, so you should definitely stick around for that. Excellent puzzle game, love to see it. And I guess that's all from me, so Murph, take us away.
Excellent.